Subscribe to my channel for interesting stories.
Story 1. My ex married her next boyfriend pretty quickly after breaking up. So quickly that apparently he didn't know the name of my ex's daughter. Dated a girl for 7 months. It was really intense. And then out of the blue, she breaks up with me with no real explanation. Shocking at the time, but I got over it pretty quickly. It happens in life. Around a year later, a Facebook memory pops up, one she had commented on. I saw a wedding dress in the thumbnail of her profile, so I click on it. Okay, she's married now. That was quick. I clicked on the profile of her new husband just out of curiosity and saw nothing really, just a seemingly normal dude. But then I saw a video he posted called something like My 4 Daughters. It was 4 young girls on a merry-go-round, one of whom I recognized as my ex's daughter. So obviously this guy had 3 of his own. In the video, this guy sees his daughters pass one by one on the merry-go-round, and he says their names as they pass. Hey Jenny, hey Maria, hey Sarah, until his new stepdaughter comes around. Suddenly it's, hey, you! I had no fucking clue what to make of this. How does one not know the name of their newest stepchild? My ex had 50-50 custody with her first husband, so it's not like she wasn't ever around. Like I said, I was only with my ex for 7 months, and for 4 of those months, I had seen her daughter every other weekend. And I remembered her name since the first time it was told me. Too many questions popped up in my head, so I decided to forget about it completely and once again, move on. My ex appeared in my Facebook memories maybe like 3 or 4 years later, and it looked as though she wasn't married anymore. So there's that. I just hope her kid turned out okay from whatever the situation was. She was a good kid. Story 2. My half-brother's dad didn't want him. Now he wants to do everything with him. My 24M had a stepdad, 46M, who was a really good friend with my mom, 46F, in high school. And in 2013, they got together a few months after my parents divorced. He seemed really cool. He was fun, funny, and had a lot of money. Then a few days after my birthday, my mom told me and my siblings that she was pregnant. We were all really excited. Then came the bad news. My stepdad asked my mom for an abortion when she told him. My mom is a kind-hearted lady. She would never want to prevent a baby from experiencing life, so she took it quite offensively. She then broke up with him on the spot. Fast forward 4 months, and my ex-stepdad came back only to pay my mom the money she needs for the baby. This made him redeemable. And then came the baby shower. My mom wanted to do a Mickey Mouse shower, but my ex-stepdad wanted to do a regular baby shower. We ended up going with his idea for some reason. The baby shower was great though, so he was redeemed, by me at least. And fast forward 2 months, my brother was born. My mom named him Chris. My ex-stepdad chose the middle name. And no, it wasn't a regular middle name. He chose Kratos. Yes, the god of war. Everyone questioned his choice, but we still approved it. He had such a redeemable few weeks. Fast forward a couple of months, and he told my mom that his dad also didn't want the baby. The both of them didn't even want a baby that they didn't want. And my mom was really mad because the grandpa always asks if we can visit them. She eventually said that she wasn't going to visit him anymore because of that, and that if he wants to see the baby, he has to visit. And this got my half-brother's dad mad because it's that baby's grandpa. My mom got mad because 1, both of them didn't want this baby, and 2, because they barely see the baby at all. So she said that if he actually wanted the baby, then none of this fighting wouldn't happen. My ex-stepdad left, and now my mom's with a new guy, a more respectful, nice guy who makes a lot of money. And she and Chris are doing well now. Well, story 3. Why he did just... They were friends since preschool after someone had stolen her crayons, and he had given some of his own to her so she could finish her drawing to bring it home. Over the years, the two became inseparable. As it turned, they had been living next door to each other all this time. Once they reached high school, that's when the duo started to grow apart. Even their own families had thought the pair of best friends would eventually become a couple. However, that day never happened since the fights between them became more frequent, and it was obvious that they were on different paths of life without each other. Silence between them grew stronger than ever, with barely just a hi to each other. when they happened to pass by one another in the hallways. But one day she had a change of heart, as she couldn't stand the silence that created distance between them. So that very day she marched over next door and asked if he was around, but his mother hadn't seen him since that morning when he left for school. He did play football, and she had waited for him to get home, but he never make it back, as the light in his room never went on again. Story 4. I'm so proud of my son. I 45F adopted my son 21 Mem when he was 12. He came from an abusive household. We just celebrated his 21st birthday. He's working on becoming a firefighter, and I couldn't be more proud of him. Sometimes I look at him, and I think about how he used to be this little 12-year-old kid, and now he's this grown man. He's so tall now, too. He's 6'2", and I have to look up when I talk to him. Sometimes I look at him and I get so proud that I have to look away. I know I'm probably repeating myself a lot, but I'm just so proud of the man he is now. It doesn't feel like I adopted him that long ago, but that was 9 years ago. It doesn't feel like that long ago. Told her I love my son and I'm so proud of him. Story 5. Should I delete our pictures? We dated for 3 years, met on a dating app and connected really well. Had really fun memories, traveled around the West Coast and west of Mexico a lot together. We broke up on November 2023, got back together for a while after New Year's and recently broke up again. We drifted apart, took separate routes on our lives. Sometimes it feels like she's growing up quicker than me. It's not a race, but it felt hard to catch up to her. Lately, I've been avoiding opening my Pictures app. I still have hundreds of pictures of us together, not to mention all the small details or physical pictures I still have of her. Polaroids, little notes she used to leave for me on the kitchen or the car, keychains she got for me whenever she'd travel. Small details that at the time I kept to remember. Now it just seems useless. Just there to remind me that we are not together anymore, taking up space in my room and phone. Seems like the right choice to just delete them and throw the memories away, think less about it and heal. At the same time, it feels wrong to try to forget 3 years of my life. Years I really enjoyed with a person who I still love. Story 6. Today I cried after a long time. I'm a recent graduate, international student, working part-time and looking for a full-time role in my domain. I make enough to get by, and anything I save goes back home for my student loans. I live in a house as a paying guest in a family. This family has a friend who's always coming in the house bringing food and snacks for us. Today, he told me to come outside and collect some food from his car because he didn't have time to stay. He called me out and told me very sincerely, "If you ever are short on food, text me. I'll always bring something." I've been there. Before this Mercedes, I was on my feet. So I know the struggle. Just text me, and if I can help, I will. This absolutely broke me. Mind you, I was never short on food, but I couldn't really indulge the way I used to back in my home country. So, him bringing me food that I like and telling me he will help absolutely broke me. I never thought I needed to hear that sentence. I cried after so long. I was sad that I was in this position, but also happy that I had such people to help me. I now realize that I can't afford to fail, not because of my own goals, but because of the people who have helped and put faith in my potential. Inshallah, one day, I'll be giving back to society in ways I was helped as a young man trying to make his way in this big city. To my fellow international students, it's not just for your own success. You owe it to those who believe in you. Story 7. 2 Karens try to kick me off the football field. I am writing this because of an incident that happened today. It was just a casual day. A 7-day break just started. I was happy that it started, so I decided to go outside with my friends. For the sake of their privacy, I'll call them Sam and Peter. We met up and started walking to the football field. When we got there, Sam had a 1v1 with a younger kid. Sam won, so the kid was angry. We didn't think much of it and continued to play with some other kids. After about 15 minutes, 2 women came up to us and started accusing us that we pushed their kids. We didn't do anything wrong, so we said that we didn't push them. The women didn't believe us, so they started lecturing us and telling us that we needed to get out. One of the Karens got so mad that it almost got physical. The other Karen told us that they didn't know if we were lying or not, and after another long lecture, I asked her that she would maybe consider that her kid was lying. She went for another lecture, but I cut her of that. She has no right to kick us out if she doesn't know the truth. However, after I said that, she got mad and stormed off. What do you think? Did I do the right thing? Am I wrong or her? P.S. If you want to use this as a TikTok story, feel free to do so. Story 8. My best friend was secretly friends with my enemy and framed me for everything. I relocated to the United States, and people in high school treated me differently because I am half Korean and half Japanese. I had a Pakistani bully named Minahil, who was the popular girl and had all the boys wrapped around her finger. She physically assaulted me in a dark alley, but then a Jamaican girl named Brielle came to my support. We became best friends, and 4 years passed. When I was in college, I advised Brielle not to be friends with a girl who gossiped a lot. However, Brielle and Minahil collaborated to create a fake video edit that portrayed me as a liar. As a result, no one wanted to be my friend, and I felt hopeless. Even my own best friend argued with me and broke our friendship 5 times. Despite forgiving her each time, she eventually ended our friendship because of her Indian friend. Subsequently, they hacked into my account and sent themselves rude comments, framing me for it. Consequently, my teacher suspended me, leaving me heartbroken. Was I wrong? Now, my former enemy, Minahil, wants to be friends with me after I became a successful top student. Should I forgive them after everything that happened? Was this all planned?